Right, you're very welcome back. Now, our next guest has spent years working with young people right across Ireland, helping them build confidence, resilience, and a healthier understanding of masculinity.
He runs the Wolf Academy. It's good, isn't it? You could do more. No, he doesn't like it. Good morning.
He's not impressed,
Cormac Noonan, who is joined by Tom Concannon, who went through the Wolf Academy. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. We really do appreciate it. Cormac, can you just tell me what is the Wolf Academy?
Yeah, so we set up the Wolf Academy back in 2020 because I suppose when I was going through school, I did quite well academically, but I struggled socially and struggled to kind of understand myself, and I had a lot of limiting beliefs about myself, and just felt I needed extra support, and it didn't really feel I got that from school. And also had a lack of mentors, male mentors to kind of guide me. With those things that were maybe under the surface that we're afraid to talk about. So, after, I suppose, finding a bit of my own path back to myself, I decided I wanted to help young people, give them some guidance and some mentorship to understand themselves and reconnect to themselves and, learn how to connect better with others and connect to the earth. So that's what we do now.
Why the wolf?
It's an interesting question. I suppose the wolf is, in some ecosystems, it actually helps balance an ecosystem. So that's part of it. And then also the wolf is seen as a protector, and it's a leadership strength as well in the wolf.
And a pack, like there's something about the wolf mentality. Wolf, if you watch actually how they work together and they protect each other, work as a team.
Yes, everyone kind of has a role in the pack. And I suppose the original idea came when I was in Mexico. I just had a vision of a wolf tattoo on my arm, and my brother had the same idea, my brother Daryl, and we both came together then to start Wolf Academy initially. So there was just something about the wolf. And
what sort of things do you do? Because I know you go into schools and you give talks about well-being and how people are doing and checking in and how they can convey and talk to each other with emotions. We're going to talk to Tom about that in a minute. But you also do retreats. So tell us some of the things that you do.
Yeah, so for the last 6 years, we've been mainly working in secondary schools, delivering workshops and programs. We have an online SPHE program for secondary schools as well. So we actually just partnered with ExamRevision recently. So that's going to be in over 250 schools come September, which is great. So because we want to empower teachers as well to be able to deliver well-being. One of the problems is that teachers aren't trained properly to deliver well-being. You wouldn't expect a maths teacher to be teaching geography, so why do we expect teachers to deliver well-being when they're not trained? So the programs help them deliver the well-being in the classroom, and then we do workshops and different types of programs in schools, and then we have retreats as well, like we did with Tom there last summer.
Tom, you're 18, you've just finished your leaving, sir. Congratulations.
Thanks very much.
Talk to us about what attracted you to taking part in the Wolf Academy. What was it about this that you felt would be something worth taking on?
Well, Cormac came to my school when I was in transition year, and I done an hour workshop, and I just thought Cormac was sound, and I thought the workshop was interesting, so I went up and was chatting to him at the end, and I gave him my email at the end of our conversation, and then he got in touch with me about the retreat that he was organising, and I was a bit maybe reluctant. I wasn't really sure what it was about, but I was intrigued. So I went, and over the course of a few months, I was kind of very lastminute.com. I was like, will I do it, will I not? And then but I just kind of landed on, go on, I'll give it a shot.
You'll do something. We sit here and there's a lot of people talking about young men and how young men are doing. And online, influencers like Andrew Tate will say, who, like, people just, toxic masculinity has been talked about a lot. What do you make of all of this? Is this something that you and your mates were looking at, or do we all have it wrong?
Well, in my circles anyways, I wouldn't say that. Andrew Tate wouldn't. Obviously, everyone knew who he was. He especially want to say when I was in second year, he kind of was starting to come to popularity, and more than that, and I think he was kind of probably looked at by us as kind of like a bit of a laugh, like it was a bit of a joke. He was saying stuff that was very kind of out of pocket, and stuff that like you'd think that nobody would take serious, but then you come to find out that obviously some people were, and it was taking an effect, probably more so than I would have even thought myself. But even from talking to Cormac on their retreat and stuff, you kind of realise how maybe it has bled into people's friend groups and way of being more than you would have initially expected.
Yeah.
Is it difficult being a young lad nowadays?
I don't think so.
No.
Not for me, anyways. But yeah, I don't think so.
Like in terms of well-being and stuff that you learnt on this course, though, was there anything that really stood out for you that maybe you hadn't thought about?
Yeah, actually, in that sense, yeah. I suppose there's a lot of things I wouldn't talk with my mates about. Even after their retreat, maybe I still wouldn't. But having the opportunity to go and kind of, you know, talk about things you wouldn't normally talk about.
Like what?
Just a lot of it, especially with the retreat, was kind of centered around boyhood to manhood and a kind of like issues that you might have wrestled with throughout your childhood. Yeah. So for me to kind of be able to put them into words and kind of come to terms with some of the things that would have bothered me as a kid is very helpful from the retreat.
I know that on these retreats things can get raw. Like you said, you saw Cormac cry on one of these retreats, and that was on one of the retreat, and it was quite powerful for you to see something like that, because you know, we do have expectations on men. There are still society roles. Big boys don't cry. You know, it's something that you still hear. Like, how are you talking to young lads? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, I suppose we don't want to be saying like this is the way you have to be a man or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's more just giving them a space to explore what type of man they want to be and what their values are and maybe what their mission is, you know, for the next couple of years of their life. And yeah, and looking at deeper emotions like anger, grief, and how do we process them in a healthy way? Because if we don't process this anger that we've built up through different experiences in childhood or whatever growing up, then that can leak out in terms of frustration, or even as we get older, it can leak out into abusive relationships and different things. If we don't process that anger, it's still in our body. So, and the grief as well. If we don't process the grief, it can lead to things like depression, feeling disconnected. So we're showing them at a young age how it's important to express these deeper emotions like anger, grief, and how to process them. And yeah, like on the retreat, there was particular moments where I felt there was a lot of grief coming up, and I had to step out for a moment because I suppose I've done a lot of work to open myself up to be able to feel. And sometimes, you know, even coming up in the car this morning, I was feeling a bit emotional. But some people think, it's maybe soft to be emotional as a man. But I suppose what I would say is, you know, as men, we can be strong and soft at the same time. And sometimes, like when I was younger, I played football. I was full back. They called me the shield. I was very strong physically, but I hid all of that emotion inside.
Yeah.
But now that I've started to tap into that inner world, it allows me to feel more alive. And if you think of the word like sensitive, it's to actually feel your senses. So like to be actually alive. And I feel there's a lot of men are shut down and blocked and closed off. And they struggle then, especially in relationship, they struggle to connect. So it's really important.
When I played sport, vulnerability was seen as a weakness. You know, nowadays I know Andy Farrell, the Irish head coach, tries to embrace that and bring it to the forefront, and actually can be a real strength. But like, it must be a bit of crack as well, Tom, is it? You know, it's obviously, you know, you're discussing serious issues, but I presume you're having a bit of fun too.
No, there was plenty of fun to be had down there. We had there's a lot of activities that was it was a way of releasing anger and maybe pent up stress, but it was a lot of fun. Like we were wrestling, and there was Irish stick fighting, and it was fun. Like we were having little spars with each other.
Oh my God!
Yeah, it's an ancient Irish martial art, Batarocht it's called. So Martin there came and taught us. I actually was training with Martin for a good few months, and then he came down and taught us some stick fighting moves.
Batarox, it's very onomatopoeic what you're going to be doing there. Tom, I suppose we talk about the siloing of, you know, genders, about men and women, gay, straight, whatever's going on, and that, you know, men feeling like they can't. I see it online, you know, like that. Oh, Domain women or all this kind of stuff. Do you feel that? Do you feel there was something there, or how are your relationships with the opposite sex?
Well, I've got two sisters. For a while, I lived with just my mum and my two sisters. I was kind of always around women. And just from a young age, I was constantly at the house with women. I knew how to have a relationship with them. I knew how to respect them, and I think that was probably very important my upbringing, the fact that I was surrounded by them, how I knew how to just treat them.
Cormac, listen, you've worked with more than 15,000 students, which is quite amazing. I think it's a topic that we need to see more of. We need to see more positive male influences out there. What's the kind of message and misunderstanding a lot of people have maybe about young fellas? And even something that they should know, young boys should know as well.
Yeah, I think just with stuff like the manosphere, and I don't even like the phrase toxic masculinity, because now it's almost seen like being a man is wrong in some way, or it can be as if men are innately, there's something wrong with us. But it's like I suppose my message is like when we really peel back the layers of maybe fear or say disrespecting women, it comes from a place of insecurity or wanting to maybe control to feel better about ourselves. But when we help men reconnect to who they are, there is innate goodness there. And I've been in men's spaces over the last 5 years, and I've seen such strength and openness and compassion in those spaces. So I think we need to just try and maybe support each other more, and not get so sucked into some extremes that we see on social media. Like, these are the extremes.
Yes.
Like, they're not the norm, I don't think. And I think we think it's the norm now. So I think, just giving some compassion towards men, and men giving compassion to themselves. And
I love that. It's not the norm, it's extremes. And I'm very lucky to work with two fabulous men.
Listen, that's it.
With us every single day. You want to do the stick fighting, don't you?
Oh, I love it.
That's what I was just about to say.
I love this. I do a lot of training stuff
fabulous.
outdoors as well. I think it's really important, and I think having inspirational people like you. And Tom, fair play to you, because it's not easy to go and step outside your comfort zone and try something like that as well. So,
just finished the leaving. Fair play, Tom.
Cannon and Cormac Noonan, thank you so much. From the Wolf Academy, people can find that online.
Thanks, guys. We really
Thanks,
appreciate
guys.
it. Thank you
Appreciate it.
so much. Coming up, we'll be going to the catwalk for some comfy and casual wear.
Right, but first, it is past. Let's get over and join Anne O'Donnell in the newsroom.